Hey, this is Samantha here from RecipeThis.com and the voice behind the popular Kitchen Gadgets podcast, Magic with Gadgets. Today I wanted to show you this quick recipe that I actually created when we used to go camping, me and my husband and our 3 kids. We travelled around Europe in a tent and just had our Instant Pot for cooking with, and we made these absolutely delicious Instant Pot breakfast potatoes. We would have them before we were travelling so that the kids would be full for hours and they wouldn't be complaining in the car that they wanted a snack. And you'll just love the simplicity of this recipe, and whether you're camping on the road or at home, it's just a fantastic quick breakfast or brunch. As well as this, we have more than 1,000 kitchen gadget recipes over at RecipeThis.com. From air fryer recipes to Instant Pot recipes to slow cooker recipes to soup maker recipes, plus bread maker recipes and many others. I recommend you head over there to check it out after watching this video and find your perfect recipe. To do these Instant Pot breakfast potatoes, start by adding a cup of water or 240 ml into your Instant Pot pressure cooker inner pot, and then add your steamer basket. For the record, this is the one that we have, and it's great because it opens up and you can fit quite a lot in it. And then once you've done this, it's a case of getting to it and peeling your potatoes and chopping them up. What I recommend is when you are chopping up these potatoes, that you go with a chunkier potato rather than, let's say, cube potatoes. By that I mean so that it's kind of halfway between a cube potato and a roast potato. Any less, what will happen is the potatoes will end up overcooked and you'll end up with mashed potatoes instead of something delicious that you can have for breakfast. Or brunch, of course. Though we had this the most when we were camping, and it was fantastic for filling us up, and also as something that we could easily prepare when we had no fridge. You know, we just grabbed some potatoes, whatever cans we had that were okay, such as tin tomatoes, salsa and such like, and then just kind of added them together, added in some cheese, and we were all good to go. And then once you've peeled your potatoes, it's time to chop them up. Like I say, you don't want to go too small, or you can go like the roast potato size if you prefer. It's just totally up to you. Another reason that I do not put the potatoes directly in the water is because that speeds up the cooking time. Oh, and also the taste rather bland because it's like boiled potatoes, but you don't want to increase the cook time because the potatoes really don't take long in an Instant Pot. It's one of the fantastic uses of the Instant Pot that I absolutely love. And then make sure your potatoes are spread out, because I've noticed that this does tip up a little bit if they're not in an even spacing. Then you can add any of your favourite seasonings. In this version today, I'm adding salt, and then I'm adding some harissa. I would normally use paprika, but I'm totally out of it. And then I'm also adding in a little bit of oregano. And then once you've done that, place the lid on your Instant Pot. Make sure it's set for sealing. And now it's time to set the time and temp on your breakfast potatoes. Click manual, or your pressure cooker might say pressure cook. Set the cook time to 0 minutes. If you don't know what that means, simply, let's say it's on 5 minutes, and you flick it all the way down to 0. And then you're waiting for the beep so that you know that the Instant Pot is listening to you. And then when it's beeped, you know that you need to come back to it as soon as it beeps again, because if you don't, your potatoes will end up overcooking. So we've released the pressure, we've pressed cancel, and now let's check on our potatoes, shall we? And those potatoes have got a lot of steam, and they're also perfectly cooked. Hopefully you can see that potato without the steam taking over. And then the next job on the list is to drain the potatoes so that we can use the saute function on the Instant Pot. So first of all, grab your steamer basket out. Some potatoes might fall around the edges, but that is okay because we can sort them out in a second. And then you want to drain away the leftovers. So now your Instant Pot is ready to go on saute. So press the saute because it does take a couple of minutes for it to warm up. And then you want to add in some extra virgin olive oil. Now, once you've added the extra virgin olive oil in and you're waiting for the Instant Pot to get hot, it's time to chop up some chorizo. You can use as much or as little chorizo as you want, or you can replace it with any other type of sausage. But when we originally did this recipe, we were on vacation in Spain, so it was only natural that loads of chorizo went into it. But I know chorizo can be expensive in some places. And then load up your chorizo into your Instant Pot, and as you can hear now, it's starting to sizzle a little bit, which is what you want. And then you can use as much chorizo or as little as you want. I'm just going with 2 of them. You know what I bought was a pack of 4, so I could add more if I wanted to. And then load the rest of it into the Instant Pot. And then once the Instant Pot starts to sizzle, it's time to cook these sausages. You'll notice that they do stick to the bottom a bit, and that's fine. You can always deglaze it and then use it for something else. You just want to get a bit of colour on the bottom of the Instant Pot before you add your potatoes back in. This is just a really, really simple breakfast that you can make. Or brunch, or you could have this as a side dish in the evening if, say, you're having a Spanish night. It's totally up to you. Just make sure none is stuck to the bottom. And then just give it a quick stir, and then cancel your saute. Then once you've cancelled your saute, you can load in all the potatoes that you've already cooked. You don't want to overstir them because the potatoes are a bit soft thanks to being pressure cooked, and you don't want it to turn into mash. And then once you've done this, I recommend adding in some salsa. Gives it a lovely flavour. And then also I recommend adding in some extra salt because you can lose quite a bit of the flavour when potatoes are pressure cooked. And then mix everything around a bit. Then you're using the salsa to stop everything from getting dry, and it just gives it a lovely flavour too. You can, of course, if you don't like salsa, swap it for some tinned tomatoes or something similar. And then you can just add in any extra seasoning that you want, or of course you can also add in some cheese. I recommend using an air fryer to melt some cheese on top before moving it to the dinner table. And these are the Instant Pot breakfast potatoes, and if you look here, what we actually did was Dominic grated some cheese on and we just left them there for 5 minutes. Look, the cheese has actually melted onto the potatoes. You know, so if you haven't got an air fryer, this is a great way to do it. And it tastes really, really good too. And like I say, if you haven't got salsa, just anything similar can be mixed in, and it stops the potatoes from going dry, and it really complements the chorizo. So next time you are camping or you just want an easy breakfast, then try these Instant Pot breakfast potatoes. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the Recipe This family. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook and Pinterest. We also have a weekly newsletter at recipethis.com/newsletter where we share with you our latest kitchen gadget recipes, what we're cooking in the Milner kitchen, and so much more. As well as this, we recommend that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then whenever we have a new video, you will be the first to know. And if you want to know about all our future videos, then I recommend you hit the bell for instant notifications. But even better, we now have a podcast. It's called Magic with Gadgets. Simply search Magic with Gadgets on your favourite podcast player and you'll find us there.